to order. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As required by Section 84-1412, subsection 8 of the Nebraska statutes, notice is hereby given that a copy of the Opens Meeting Act is posted for your examination on the wall inside the door to the City Council chambers. And I'd like to welcome all of our guests tonight. Could we have roll call, please?
George Klein.
Here.
Shane Shepherd.
Here.
Mark Graves.
Here.
Kevin Alexi.
Here.
Clay Anderson.
Here.
Could I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
I'll second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Clay to approve the agenda. Could we have roll call, please?
Klein.
Here, yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Graves.
Yes.
Alexi.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Could we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve of the consent agenda. I'll second.
Motion by Shane, seconded by Kevin, to approve the consent agenda, which includes minutes for the City Council meeting of June 2nd. There are no meetings for minutes for boards and commissions. The water report for May is included. There is a updated fire department membership update. And special designated licenses that were administratively approved was a favorite bar for benefit dinner and dance at Dawes County Fairgrounds on June 28th. And that's all. Anybody have any questions about any of the items in the consent agenda? If not, could we have roll call, please?
Klein.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Graves.
Yes.
Alexi.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. Could we have Deb Cottier with your monthly report?
Good evening, council members. Deb Cottier. I live at 428 North Chadron Avenue here in Chadron. You have a written report in your packets. I don't have much else to add to the packet. I might just remind you, if you haven't read it, the Heartland Expressway Association annual meeting is now scheduled for August 21st, which is a Thursday. We do it over the noon hour. It will be an alliance this year. We'd encourage anyone who can to attend that. We will have the director from the Ports to Plains Alliance again with us. He was here in Chadron last year, as well as someone from DOT. We have invited Vicki Kramer to be our guest speaker. Just haven't confirmed that yet, if she's going to be able to do that or not. We've spent some time in the last probably 6 weeks trying to round up support for and fill in required documentation on a couple of requests for assistance from Congressman Smith's office as it relates to the Heartland Expressway. We have not heard back on those applications, whether or not they've been accepted. I do know that the deadline was Friday for him to have those posted on his website, and the Heartland Expressway request is not included in there, so I'm not very optimistic. There were several projects that were submitted for the 2025 fiscal year that kind of went by the wayside when the budget couldn't be reconciled in time to approve those. So I'm concerned that there will be a little bit of carryover, as well as any other applicants that they deem more critical than what we had submitted. So we continue to wait to hear on that. And we are also preparing to attend the Ports to Plains annual meeting, which is in Lubbock, Texas this year in late September. So those are all related to Heartland Expressway things. We're beginning to do a little bit of early contacting with businesses here in Chadron to be hosts for what we hope will be a good share of the Northern Panhandle sophomores in high school to attend the now upcoming the third year that we've done the Workforce Development Career Connections workshops. And when we held those in Chadron in 2023, we had 18 different job sites where the kids went to have some hands-on experience and kind of explore some career options. So we hope to duplicate that and learn from past sessions and maybe make that even better. Then the final thing I'll mention is we are very close to being able to launch our new website. I do have just this week was sent the link to the online version, or a version that we can look at and see what we think of it and see what changes we might want to make, or if there are corrections. There are a couple of things on there I've noticed already that either the links don't work, or it's, for example, they linked for the Crawford Medical Clinic, they linked to some clinics in Texas, which I suppose it could happen. I don't know. But so my board members that agreed to kind of step up and help with that project will be asked to look over those images and give us some feedback, working, of course, with the tourism office as well to make sure that what we do is complementary to what they do. I have discovered in my really intense looking at what each section of that website does, how it functions, more than ever, it literally is just a link and a click through to another website. And I know that's probably the way most of them are being done now. Unfortunately, it does not allow us as much time to share or explain or describe what it is that we're trying to get across to them. The conundrum is, how much time do you give them before they can click on something and go somewhere else? Because if you don't provide that, then they'll just leave the page. And so I'm struggling with that just a little bit. And I think we could have a little more imagery on the site than what they are sharing with us so far. So that's just a couple suggestions I'm going to be making. I don't know if it'll be something that everyone else will sort of veto my concerns about. But the plan is to have the thing soft launch sometime in June and have it literally go live, the permanent, all those corrections made by July 1. So I'm excited about that. It's a great improvement regardless if it does everything I want it to do. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
When that website goes live, is it just a static site? Is it any updates? Do they have to go through the design, the Golden Shovel Agency, or is there any local?
If there are updates to be made, I will be taking some tutorial and be able to do a few things. For example, we have always posted the NNDC newsletter to that website. I don't even know where it would go at this point. That's one of the questions I need to ask them. Where on the page would that go? Can we continue to do that? There are several places where there are like data points that come up in big round circles, and it's like, particularly about business placements, like Nebraska's first in the nation in whatever. Some of those kinds of things they will update on a regular basis. There's also a page for news and stories that will specifically be items and events and projects and people, for that matter, or businesses that we want to have featured, that they will help us write. We will have a contract with the Golden Shovel Agency through this time next year, and so they will help us with that. But the other thing that they will help us do is create a marketing plan that will actually drive people to click on the website. That's our biggest challenge, is we don't have anybody going to our website right now. And so you need to figure out what's going to grab their attention. You need to provide what you want available to your membership or your businesses so that they know that they can go to the site and find what they need. And it is a balancing act, because we can't be all things to all people on this website. But I want to make sure that we're at least covering the things that I felt worked well or were important on our previous website.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Hey, I'd like to see, I enjoyed the annual meeting last year when it was in Chadron. I don't know if I'll be able to make it August 21st, but I will maybe try.
Yeah, and if someone would like to just ride along, obviously I'll be going, so be happy to take a couple folks down to Alliance. It's a pretty quick trip. We'll be down and back without wasting, or taking up your whole day. We tried to do it in the hour time that folks would have for a lunch hour anyway.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to item C.
I'll move to introduce resolution 2025-45 and move for its approval.
I'll second that.
Motion by Shane, seconded by Mark for resolution number 2025-45, which is to approval of the plans and specification for the construction of one 60-foot by 80-foot, 16 feet high post frame building for the street department.
Good evening, Council. Dustin Glass, Street Superintendent, 1013 East Niobrara. We went over we corrected some errors that we had on our spec book from the last time, and back to see you guys again.
Okay, speak up to the people out there in TV land.
Yeah.
They want to hear you, especially my wife, and she says that I'm not talking loud enough. So you definitely are not talking loud enough.
Well, we fixed some errors from the last time we brought the spec book. We're back to hopefully get this resolution passed so that we can get a building to protect our equipment.
Okay, I've looked over it, and yeah, it's much improved from what we were talking about. If no one else has any questions,
Is there a reason why you're wanting to go the 2 feet higher?
Yeah, so equipment gets bigger as time goes on. Like our new loader right now, with the beacons that are currently on it, if you tilt them up, you're not getting in the current doors that we have, which are 12 by 10s. So we have to lay them down. I'm just planning for future equipment as it gets bigger. Gonna need a bigger shop to protect it.
I think that's a smart move too.
Yeah.
okay. Curious George said, no overhang, city loading. And I said, what does that mean?
That's gonna
So I
be,
tried to look it up on the internet, and I still haven't figured out, but it did tell me that if you're gonna have gutters, you need 50 millimeters. And then I looked at my ruler and I said, wonder if I can figure out a millimeter. And I figured it out, it was about 2 inches, and then I did the easy thing and Googled that. And yeah, it's 1.968. So you gotta have a couple inches. But what does city loading need?
I'm gonna refer to Jan. Technology on the words.
The contractors will know that that's a 30-pound snow load.
Oh, okay.
And they'll also know that they need to design the trusses to 115-mile-an-hour wind. And if they don't know, they haven't built in Chadron. So that's all jargon that the contractors will know.
Okay. And then on the next line, it abbreviated, I think, carriage to just C-A-R-R. I'd probably,
Carriage bolts, yes.
I'd probably spell that out, but
That also came from the contractor.
yeah,
That actually came from the supplier.
yeah.
But if you want carriage spelled out, I will spell it out.
I just,
I didn't even notice.
Carriage bolts.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but
questions?
Looks good.
Concerns?
Look good to me.
I am glad that Shane suggested that we go to 26 gauge, because actually, when I got the price quote on that, it was cheaper than 29 gauge.
Okay.
So hopefully that stays that way. I know that steel pricing is going up and down all the time, but the day I was quoted that, it actually was cheaper than 29 gauge.
Okay. Adam, we had tabled this, and so we didn't, do we need to
I think
back
it's-
up
I
with
think
our
it's-
motion?
No, I think it's fine, just to have somebody put it on the table now. It's to approve, which we've already done.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, okay.
Thank you.
And then just to reiterate for those listening, was all approved in the budget for this year, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you guys got snow guards on that too?
Yes.
Yes.
And to clarify for the people out there, the lower number is the heavier gauge the steel is.
Yep, correct. It's
Just-
yeah,
Just for the
yeah,
audience.
the lower number in gauge means the heavier it is, or the thicker.
Any other questions? If not, could we have roll call, please?
Klein,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Alexi,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. Someone like to make a item D?
I'll make a motion to approve the request to use Greenwood Cemetery and block off the north entrance of the cemetery for historical walking tours scheduled for July 12th during Fur Trade Days.
I'll second.
Motion by Kevin, seconded by Clay. Motion to approve request to use Greenwood Cemetery and to block off the north entrance of the cemetery for historical walking tours scheduled for July 12th, 2025 during Fur Trade Days. Eunice and Sharon, would you come up to the podium, please? Since you came, we're gonna make you speak.
I'm Janice Dagan, co-chair of the Cemetery Committee.
And Sharon Rickenbach.
This year, we have 6 characters, actually 7 people. We're doing Walter Scott, who is given credit for for introducing winter wheat to this area, and that made a huge agricultural impact. Blackie Davidson was an oil man who is credited with discovering oil in North Dakota, and he's buried in our cemetery. He married a local girl. Phyllis Wagner, some of you might remember her. Excuse me. She was called Mrs. Newsy, and everybody loved her. We have Tim Morrissey. He came here in 1884 and served on a lot of different committees for the community. Duncan McIntyre came here from Canada, and he had a farm out here where the Ford dealership is, and he populated half of Chadron because he is related to almost everybody. And then Warren and Gladys Beamish, and Warren was a highly decorated World War II veteran, and then he was a horse trainer and a bullfighter / clown for rodeos, and Gladys was a trick rider. So those are the characters that we will be doing this year, and Sharon's going to tell you a little bit about what we do and a couple of things about the future.
Junice. Again, Sharon Rickenbach. And Junice didn't mention, but we started this in 2012. And the funds that we receive from the cemetery tours goes right back into the cemetery. And we have some actors that have helped us. Our actors are all volunteers. And we've done a lot of things, and it all began with electronic kiosk. And I guess from that time, we got hooked. And there are other things that we've been able to do to help with the cemetery. This year, one of the things that we're looking at is maybe cleaning some of the old headstones. There's so much history out there about our community, and obviously some of the older headstones, they don't have family around anymore to care for them. So I visited a little bit with Mike Felton, and he will work with us to clean some of the headstones. But again, the funds go right back to the cemetery. And we can't thank you enough for always allowing us to do this, because the history of Dawes County is pretty amazing.
And we might add, it's your fault we're here, because it was the city who contacted us and wanted us to work on that kiosk. And then everything just evolved. We got the kiosk, and then this happened, and it's just continued, and we love doing it, so thank you. Questions?
I have a question for Chief. You feel comfortable with them blocking the entrance with the vehicle? Or should we put up barricades?
The gate will close, right?
Well, not always. We've had years where it was padlocked, and
Oh, okay.
we were never sure. So we started just parking a car there where nobody could get around.
That's fine. I think if Dustin and I could probably make some arrangements, get some barricades in front of the car. Just so that somebody doesn't turn in and crash into the place. Absolutely, whatever you.
Whatever we're doing, I think.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yep, thank you for doing this. Could we have roll call, please?
Klein,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Alexi,
You'd be a good
Yes.
actor, George.
Anderson,
Yes.
Pardon me?
You'd be a good actor for one.
Oh, yeah? I can't act. Item E on the agenda was an update on the library renovation project. The city has received an email from Heather Crowfoot, who is on the Chadron Public Library Board. And she said, "I'm requesting that the agenda items related to the Chadron Public Library be tabled from tonight's meeting, as we are gathering more information and will present our findings at a later date." So this is more information, so I don't think we need to take any
I don't think you
action.
need to table it, we'll just schedule it down the road.
Very good. That's kind of what I concluded. The next item is a resolution to declare property as surplus. Would someone care to introduce that?
I'll move to introduce resolution 2025-48 to declare property as surplus and authorize the same to be sold or discarded. Move for its approval.
I'll second that.
Motion by Clay, seconded by Mark. And Clay read exactly what it was intended to do, declare surplus property. Anyone have any questions? There's not a very long list. If you see something you're really interested in, be sure and make a bid when it goes to auction. And if it's one of those, there's a few things I think that might even not need go to auction because they don't have a lot of value or any value. But we will see when we talk to the auctioneer people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, you have any questions? If not, have roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Alexi,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the claims as presented in our information.
I'll second that.
Motion by me, seconded by Shane, to approve the claims. I just noticed a couple things, under the Chadron Ace Annex, of that $68,73.44, $6,700 was for the new mower. And then the item, which is only $15, but it caught my eye, and it's said that we're paying the Chadron Public Schools $15 for a tobacco license. And I didn't understand, did we collect that and then we forwarded it on? And why are the forms not made out to initially give the money to the schools if that's where it's going?
Well, this is one that's a new company here in town,
Yeah.
because, tobacco licenses are due at the end of the year. So we just collect them and then through the city, and then we write a check to the school.
Both?
So this one, they wrote a check to the city, so we are reimbursing the school for it.
So we're just, the cities are just a go-between
Mhm.
to give money to the
Yep.
schools
Yep.
on tobacco licenses.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I would like to note that, we're paying, Wallstrom Ford for the police department 2025 F-150. So is that around that we can, as council members, or is it up getting the special equipment?
No, I picked it up last Monday. It is parked inside the garage at the police department currently. It's scheduled for upfitting of all the equipment on July 7th up in Rapid City.
Okay.
If anybody wants to see it, you're welcome to come down to the department. It's already been used with a deer already, so.
Oh, it has?
Last week,
Okay.
so.
Okay. So you, right now, your equipment is a cell phone?
Whatever we got.
Okay. Anyone have any other questions? If not, could we have a roll call, please?
Klein,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Alexi,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, public comment period. Anyone wishing to address the council on a matter not on this agenda may certainly do so. Individuals are allowed a total of 3 minutes to speak. I think that's going by the wayside, so city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just got a couple quick things. I know that the mosquitoes are starting to come out a little bit right now. Scott Schremer, who's the park super, is working on doing what he calls trapping or baiting to see how bad it is in different areas. So if you see the little traps, please leave them alone. But things that you can do to help yourselves would be is to eliminate water, standing waters anywhere around. And then those that are out there that are fortunate to be able to watch kids or whatever for athletics or being able to enjoy their lawns and stuff, make sure that they're using the DEET and stuff. But he will be spraying here just as soon as he gets everything notified on doing that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that there is a lot of work that's been done throughout the city, and I wanted to thank the citizens for the support that they've been doing. In particular, the alleys is something that I've been working and trying to work on diligently. And just remind people that if they do have things that they need to have removed that are more bulkier or whatever, we do have the dial-a-truck, which is a great service to the community. They can call down to the street shop, or can we post that on the website yet?
It should be.
It is, yeah, but is it something that they can request the form on it?
Yep.
Okay, and I haven't looked yet. But the phone number for that is 432-0528. And that's something where the truck can get brought to it, you can load it up, and then we'll take it away for what purposes it is. And that just helps us to keep the alleys clean, to allow trucks to get through there, Swan trucks, MPP trucks, cable company trucks, anybody that has to have work done through their things. And then the last thing I just wanted to report to the council, and I know I sent some messages out, but I want to let the citizens of Chadron know that we are still having an EAS or essential air service being provided by Southern until August. This was an extension by the FAA. They're still contemplating how they're going to do things on some of their stuff, and I'm assuming it's because of the federal funding and how everything is going on. And right at the moment, we have no other news on it other than that they extended it out to August. And that's going to be a 3-month extension. And hopefully we'll know more information as that comes up. And that's all I have for you tonight, Mayor.
Tom, you did mention to me that the service from Southern has somewhat improved.
Yes, one of the things that we have noticed here, they have started working on getting some more pilots, and the planes that they've got are becoming more reliable. May was probably the best service we've seen in probably 9 or 10 months, as far as in plane, or as far as flights being scheduled and being on time and everything. So I feel that they've made a jump in the corner of it, and we're actually seeing a little bit better service than what we've had in the past. And I'm hoping it becomes more and more reliable as they continue with their services.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for
Thank you for the reminder, Mayor.
Tom? Well, council closing comments, and I'm first this meeting, like to wish all of our citizens and encourage them to have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. We'll be meeting before Fur Trade Day, so we'll put that one off. I'd like to ask the public's help in trying to address the problem that I see with the weeds on 3rd Street growing out of the concrete, the pressed brown concrete. And then I'd just like to mention that this morning I was doing one of my mayor duties, or not so mayor duties, in removing some yards and yard sale signs from the posts on the corner of 3rd and Main, and Officer Parrott stopped and helped me with 2 of them. So it was a nice thing. So hopefully he didn't take that time away from something more important. That's all.
I'd like to say that Main Street looks like the trees got cleaned up. Looks good. And there's it's nice to see all the cars for the camps that are coming into Chadron State College. That's good revenue coming in. That's about all I got.
Well, if you watch the news, which I'm sure most people do, there seems to be a lot of unrest throughout, well, a lot of unrest. So this is a message of unity and tolerance to emphasize the importance of coming together despite our differences, so we can foster understanding, respecting diverse perspectives, so that we can coexist peacefully. So just a reminder too, we're all humans, we're all neighbors of one another, so hopefully, despite our differences, we can all get along.
That's a tough act to follow. No comment from me this evening. Thank you.
I don't really have anything to add on for tonight. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Motion by Clay, seconded by Shane to adjourn. Any discussion on adjourning? If not, roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Graves,
Yes.
Alexi,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That's right, we don't meet until after, yeah.